Started in Chevrolet, the line was orange. On January 7th, a star was born. Stayed in seat pleasant till my mom and I moved on to the next stop. Come ride along. Left Pop's mom tired of the fighting and tears. So in Landover's where I spent my formative years. While living here, met my oldest peers. Underprivileged yet I'm overcoming my fears. Robberies and shootings, now we out in Suitland. Right behind my high school to focus on my schooling. No longer boosting, now I'm beat looping. Pre to the union, writing with a blue pen. Penning blue lines from Pentagon to Addison. Battle raps dumb funny like Billy Madison. Battling till my name's spread like a pathogen. This is just a start, I can feel it in my abdomen.
You know, before then we just had a distribution deal with him. And he approached me on working with him hands-on as a partner, and you know, basically kind of taking his creative director position. But he pretty much give us freedom to do whatever we want to do. You know, so he comes to us, he's like, yo man, I trust you dudes, man. I like y'all sound. You know, I don't want to try to control or, you know, take away from, you know, your creativity and whatever you guys trying to do.
I would say it's refreshing. There are some people who, you know, numbers and money follows. There are some people who artistry follows, and some people where business follows. With us, it's kind of balanced. It's an even playing field. So obviously the business has to be accounted for, and money has to be accounted for. But at the end of the day, we're artists.
I know that when it comes to Substantial, Godzilla, Kev, J Soul, you know, Mark Speck, I know that I can trust that when you mention those names, then I'm in good company. You know, I'm at ease.
Motor City gusto. Hey, yo, what up, though? This Motor City slang for the gusto.
Kevin, as a partner, extremely supportive. You know, we speak sometimes a couple times a week, just constantly bouncing ideas off of one another. He's open to things that are outside of the box. He's very honest if he's not crazy about something. And, you know, like that honesty and that support, you know, allows us to have a great working relationship. Working with him from the standpoint as me as an artist, you know, funny story is when I first started talking to the label, I had every intention of putting my new project out completely myself because I didn't necessarily see the value in working with a label, you know, at this point in time in my career. And so when I pitched the idea that I had to Kevin, it was suggested by the other guys that I actually speak with him and share some of the things I was planning. And so when the conversation finished, Kevin actually, or when I finished explaining what my vision was to Kevin, Kevin was like, so what do you need me for? You know?
Yeah, drop this.
Well, the thing is with hip hop is more or less it's a business engagement more than me being signed as an artist to a label, because as an artist, I handle everything. Like I handle my artwork, the vision, the feel, the textures, everything, like the beats, the rhymes. I've never been like an A&R artist, you know what I'm saying? I've never been a person who was like gotten, you know, it had that luxury. Everything I've done has been on a shoestring budget. So anytime we make something, I feel it a lot more than a person in the system or a part of a machine. And HiPNOTT makes me feel like I'm my own person, you know what I'm saying? My own ideas, they're very hands-off, and that's what I appreciate the most.
Leave your carcass to rot. You a part of the plot. Y'all should just watch, cause he here now. They gonna let the bull rot.
Well, when an artist turns in a project, of course they have, I like to say that they have 100% creative freedom. Maybe 85–90% of the projects that we've put out are basically how the artist wanted it to sound. That's what they turned in, that's how we put it out. But very few, there are some times where I may listen to a project and I'll say, oh, maybe the sequencing is off. Maybe we'll put this track here. Maybe this track needs an interlude. Maybe we could do something different from the beginning. Or there may just be a track on there that's like, I don't know what you're thinking, this track doesn't fit at all with this. And I'm very honest and open with my artists. While I give them, you know, creative freedom, I'll also tell them when I don't like something, I don't think something works.
And the deal I have now with HiPNOTT is so that it's like basically P&D, like pricing and distribution. You know what I'm saying? It's some marketing. and you know, they'll have input on that, but I have like all my creative freedom still. So that's, to me, how can you be an artist if you being told what to do or being given what to say? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you could be a commodity and a product, sure, all day, but an artist, I don't know about that.
The heat really left them all numb. Worthless trinkets, yeah, but they a treasure to some. Tell them ain't nothing more precious than the breath in your lung. Irrelevant fuck, always think they better than us.
He's not dictating, like, yo, you should do this, you should do that. You know what I mean? He letting the artist be the artist. And that's how it used to be, you know what I mean? And as long as that goes on, I mess with Cal, you know what I mean? And he got a nice crew coming along with the new cast, the other guys, Substantial, the Regiment, Piso, the Two Hungry Brothers, and you know, and so on, Tanya Morgan, Ilyas, J Soul, Modest, you know what I mean? Everybody that messes with Cal, I'm cool with. I ain't got, and that's the thing about this label, there ain't no beefs and ain't no, you know, I'm just like happy to be able to put music out. It don't matter, and I don't care if I'm first, last, in the middle, whatever. It's everybody creating good vibes.
In your speaker, bubbling like a fever blister. Misters and sisters, I came to deliver sounds that would guarantee a winner.
I think Kevin is the type of guy who understands that an artist has to be an artist, and that you know, if he signs you to his label, he already knows you're dope. Like, he already believes in what you do. So when you actually start to work with him, he's just gonna let you do what you do because he already knows, you know, he's already a fan of your work. So he's never given me any type of creative restrictions. If anything, he just gives me creative direction. You know, like I said, I already said I'm disorganized, so I might be like, what single should we release? You know, what song should we put out? And you know, he's good with kind of letting me know what might sound better, or the DJs might like better, or the radios might like better. So he's good with that.
Welcome to the gateway to greatness. What? You should probably crank this in your basement. You should integrate this in your playlist. Play this for acres. Make way for haters who stare at blank faces with amazement.
The type of music I do is not mainstream hip hop. You know, it's not gonna make $1 million. It's not gonna be up in the strip clubs. You know what I mean? So with that sensibility, Kevin Nottingham is very, you know, he's in tune to that sensibility. He says, okay, this is the type of artist you are, this is what you're gonna do, and this is how we're gonna move, and we're gonna try to access your fans. Like, instead of trying to make you do something different to kind of get into a different pool, we're just gonna let you be where you are right now and just immerse yourself deeper into your type of fans, your type of culture, and your lane, essentially. So I like the fact that he just lets an artist be an artist, and you know, that's the best way a label should, you know, proceed.
The world's old, yeah.
Kevin just he trusts the artist. You know what I mean? Like, he trusts the artist. The only thing that he's on you about, I guess, is like, you know, if we have a video that needs to, you know, be done by a certain deadline, he's like on you like, yeah, blah, blah, we need it for then. But as far as like creatively, what I want to do with my music and in my videos, he doesn't really care. And for the most part, he just like, yo, that's you, you know, blah, like, yeah, you know, do what you do, you know. And then he's like, and yeah, he just been real supportive. Like, that's all I can say. He's just been real supportive, like, because my videos and, you know, all the symbolism I had on my cover art with the chakras and all of that. And Kevin was just cool with it. He's like, okay, cool. Like, that's your art. Like, you know, like, cool. So I appreciate that about Kev.
No, actually, Kev is really cool, man. We had like 2 conversations, you know what I mean? And truth be told, the project was done before I even signed with HiPNOTT. So all I really had to do was send it to him. And he was like, yo, let's do it. So I was really cool with that because I didn't have any boundaries. And even when, I don't know if we can talk about it or when it's gonna come out, but I'm doing a project with Wordsworth that we just finished or whatever. And even then, it wasn't no kind of restrictions. I like freedom. You know what I mean? So the last label I was on, I didn't have as much freedom. But this one, I have like complete freedom. I can do whatever I want, so that's really cool.
You would think that just because an artist is an artist, a rapper's a rapper, that they don't have business sense. But, a lot of these independent artists, they're so self-sufficient that they could probably run, their own label. So I took a look at, some of our artists on the roster. I've been running the label, for myself on my own for a while, and obviously it's a lot of work. But by bringing Substantial in as our head of A&R and Osai in as our creative director, it takes off a ton of work off of me, and it's nice to be able to bounce around ideas, talk about other artists, developing other artists' careers, and being able to get outside input.
Yeah, Kevin's just about what you want to do. Kevin's like, yo, if I think the thing about Kev that's dope is once he believes in you as an artist, or just is really into your music, then he wants you to do what you do. So Kevin's never said anything to me creatively, unless he's been trying to one thing that Kev does that I think other labels don't really do too tough is Kev will hit you up like, yo, you should do a track about this. He throw ideas at you, track ideas at you, and song ideas and album ideas, and I think that's peace. But as far as changing anything, nah, he don't change nothing. He just do what you do.
Kevin gives us a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
Cool thing about HiPNOTT is we had a relationship with Kevin maybe a year and a half, 2 years prior to actually
before we got on HiPNOTT.
Getting on HiPNOTT, because we did a lot of business with him
on his blog.
On his blog for promo, just pushing out little free EPs or what have you.
Yeah.
So the relationship is really good. We enjoy the freedom and receiving information from him as well as giving him information.
Yeah, because creative control as an artist, you want that. I think in some ways you need it. So it's just a blessing to be able to just do what we think is the best for us career-wise and art-wise.
And things over at HiPNOTT, it's more like a partnership, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
But either way, tell your piece, this shit is mad tight. You ain't thinking the same, you might be drinking a lane, sober up and come back. We'll be here with the raps from our brain and our hearts. That's where everything starts.
From our angle, he's not putting the artistry of emceeing first. He's also even for the other guys who are our brothers on the label, he's also recognizing the production, like producers, as being artists as well. And that's like a welcome home, because a lot of guys want rappers, but there's
it's very welcoming.
Yeah, there's a movement now. People want a lot more beats. I've been noticing, and I'm just glad to have this Kevin on our corner.
I'm gonna go E40 shit. Yeah. We own with mouths on it, how it goes in weak. Rappers do what they can, I do what I want. Every word I speak is a swear. Word to my right hand.
It's really not that different, being with HiPNOTT Records, because we still got to do what we got to do. We still have creative control, we still have work to do, and we still, push it just as much as we did when we didn't have a label. So it's just a little bit more help. It's a lot easier on us, we don't have to wear so many different hats, and we can focus more on getting the product done, and actually recording and writing and loving what you do. So I think it's a good benefit.
This is more so notifications. We tell them, we let the label know when we're planning on releasing something, or how the schedule we want to do to make sure that's in accordance with everybody else on the label. That's a difference. But other than that, the creative control, we still got to do, like Powerful just spoke on. We got to do what we got to do. We still got to grind like we are always grinding, because it's still an independent. We're still an independent group, and we still got to move. We got to move around. We got to make our presence known and make ourselves formidable. So
it's also a benefit to have a collective with the artists that we team with. There's other artists that we can build with, in-house production, MCs that, get on songs with us and us to get on songs and actually share each other's fan base, introduce each other to each other's fan base. So that's also a great plus of signing to HiPNOTT Records, you know.
Salute the creation. This pray that you living what you saying. Cause these have-nots are not playing. So don't you be walking around talk about pounds with no bangers. You think I wouldn't even have to explain it, but this is a new age. Youngers are facing a new danger. He's shooting for the jumper when he could've took the layup. I try to teach him different, but he try to get his pay up. Feel like I'm on mute every time I try to say something. My duty is to teach. I'm just doing what I came for. Believe in this and believe in that. Now I said my duty is to teach. I'm just doing what I came for. Believe in this and believe in that. It's a wonder how people even believe in rap. Let them tell it, they all killers. Ice cold with no feelings. Let's make them believe in Godzilla. Yeah, believe in this and believe in that. It's a wonder how people even believe in rap. Let them tell it, they all killers. Ice cold with no feelings. Let's make them believe in Godzilla.
Forever true and honest, lyrics remain evident. Never fake it to make it, the lies are irrelevant. Nothing to lose, show and prove.
Do you?
You know Godzilla never do what they do. That lesson came from the roots. Reputation like the woo. I'm still 152, young God that math true. On another note, my mind rich, but literally I'm hella broke. Read, write, teach, praying Arabic and take a toll. I'm about peace, but violent and provoke. Quotes from the older God, I ain't no joke. The enemy hung himself, I just gave him the rope.